I'm out of shape. Whew.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys read in that beautiful dance celebration, Bungie's new dungeon that came out with the 30th year anniversary pack, known as Grasp of Avarice, is now farmable. Now, if you guys didn't already know, when the dungeon first released, it was meant to be farmable. However, due to a bug, it was not. Bungie has since fixed that issue in its most recent update, and now we could all farm out that sweet loot, which include prized weapons from Destiny 1, like the Izaluna hand cannon, the 1,000-yard stare, just to name a few of the weapons, and a sick-looking Thorn-inspired armor set. Now, if the weapons and armor aren't enough to get you going and trying to do this dungeon, let me let you know that this is probably the best dungeon that Bungie has come out with ever. Hands down, it is so much fun, and the story is great. It is so nostalgic, and I feel that it is an experience that everybody should have. Now, whether it be for fun or for farming or for whatever the reason, go on LFG sites, join a group, and have fun grinding out this dungeon, ladies and gentlemen. But I know that there are a decent amount of people out there who enjoy a challenge, quite like myself. I find that soloing these dungeons is very fun, and it adds another layer to something that is already amazing. So with that being said, I wanted to take this opportunity to make a guide / tips and tricks video on how you can solo this dungeon and maybe even go for a solo flawless. If you're anything like me, once you saw that solo flawless emblem with the pirate ship, you decided I need this, and well, after 2 days of trying, I got it done. I gotta let you guys know at the front, this is very easy, very doable on any character. Do not worry, I will give you nice in-depth details on how to get things done per character. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. So as with everything in Destiny, everything is very subjective to your playstyle and what you like. However, you don't want to steer too far away from the meta. Now, personally, I like to go ahead and run an ignition code with blinding nades, or any grenade launcher with blinding nades for that matter, just because you might need to distract the enemies to get them off your ass every once in a while. Obviously, of course, you want to run a fusion rifle because particle deconstruction has made fusion rifles insanely overpowered this season. Now, as far as my heavy weapon and supers are concerned, that is subjective to the encounter that I am doing. Obviously, for this beginning encounter, it is pretty much just clearing out ads, collecting the engrams, and just not dying if you're going for a solo flawless. So, I like to use anything that'll help me clear ads, and that's pretty much that. I'm not going to go in too much depth on how to complete every encounter, because if you're doing this to do a solo or a solo flawless, you should already have somewhat of an idea of what to do. Now, with that being said, this is a tips and tricks guide video, so I am going to give you my recommendations. Now, if you're on a warlock, Dawnblade, Stormcaller, Nova Bomb, anything that'll kill ads fast and do a lot of damage is acceptable for these ad clear encounters, and really any heavy that you want, as long as you don't blow yourself up if you're using a rocket or a grenade launcher. Now, if you're on a Titan, Slam, Hammers, Thunder Crash, whatever, Hunter, Revenant, anything really on Hunter. Hunter has pretty good ad clear supers, so do that and you will be a-okay. Once you have entered all the engrams into the crystal, obviously you will continue forward, and at this point it's pretty much just taking your time, clearing out ads, avoiding the traps that are laid throughout the dungeon, and not trying to make any crazy jumps, because if you're going for the solo flawless, you will fall and then you will have to restart. And personally, I find this beginning bit before the first boss to be the most tedious. But with all that being said, just continue through this like you normally would, and I will see you guys at the first boss. So congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You have made it past the most annoying part of the dungeon, and now you move on to the first real challenge, which is the ogre fight. Now, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I don't know. I don't have time for that. For this fight, I like to run the blinding nades and the fusion rifle combo like I would before, as well as sleeper, just because sleeper is something that everyone can use. You can run 1k, but that's if you have it. Either way, you'll be fine. Now, you start off by taking out those acolytes. However, you do not want to pick up those engrams. Why? Is because if you turn them in, it is going to throw off the cycle for the damage phase. I will explain more later. Now, once you've dealt with the acolytes, you're going to want to make your way to the back of the room. As you can see, blinding nades are going to be coming in clutch here. The ads are going to be blinded. They're not going to really shoot me, and it's going to be very easy. Now, you can pick up the Scorch Cannon from underneath, as I do here, just to avoid you getting laced by that ogre, because he does a lot of damage. Here is where your supers are going to come into play. Guys, use your supers liberally. Every 10 engrams that you pick up, you will get your super back. As you can see here, I'm going to drop my well, and I'm going to start killing the ads. Now, every room that you go in should drop up to 14 engrams, which is more than enough for you to get your super. As you saw, the well's down, and once I take out this knight here, I will have enough engrams to be able to replenish my super. And as you'll see, there it is. Now, I have a well down if I need it, and I have one in my back pocket if I need to throw it down as well. Now, pick up your Scorch Cannon and head to the middle to deposit your burdens. As you guys clearly saw, I did that on a Warlock with Well of Radiance. However, this could be easily done on a Hunter, whether you're using top or bottom tree Night Stalker or even Revenant, and on a Titan using Bubble or Thunder Crash just to clear everything out fast. Now, when going into the middle to deposit the engrams, if you're on a Warlock, drop a Rift. If you're on a Hunter, go Invis or dash to it. And if you're on a Titan, put up your wall so that it tanks the damage. Now, you guys are going to go into the next room and do the same thing. You'll see, pop my well, you can pop your Thunder or your Bubble or your Revenant, and just go to town on the ads. Use your Scorch Cannon liberally because you're not going to need it anymore. Now, once you've taken out all the ads, you'll see, boom, super's back, and now you're going to head back to the middle to start DPS. Now, if you'll remember earlier, I said that I didn't like picking up the engrams off of the acolytes on the left, and you are going to see here in a second why that is the case. Now, this encounter only requires 25 engrams to start the damage phase. You'll see here, once I'm at 2, the crystal blows up and basically letting you know, hey, damage is about to start. Now, if you would have grabbed those first 4 and then grabbed the other 14, you would have had to wait there longer, because if you ran away, you would still have your burdens debuff and you would end up getting killed by it before you could finish the DPS phase. Now, as far as the DPS phase is concerned, this is where it's going to vary from character to character. If you're on a Warlock running well, you're going to come up to this spot right here. This way the ogre doesn't push you and start to stomp you. That is no fun for anyone. Now, if you are on a Titan or a Hunter, I highly advise that you run into the room on the left side of the arena where we did the second engram pickup phase, because there is going to be your safest place to actually do damage. If you're on a Titan running Thunder Crash, I recommend you Thunder Crash when the damage phase starts, run back, and start shooting him. He will be staggered, so you won't have to worry about him hitting you after your Thunder Crash. If you're using Bubble, just run to the back, drop the Bubble, start DPS. Hunters, same thing. Run to the back, pop your super, whatever that may be, and start DPSing. That is the safest place that you could be, because if not, you are going to get laced by either the Thrall, the Dregs, and the Vandal that are going to respawn, or the boss himself. So, after you've made it past your first damage phase, you are going to want to get into a safe spot, clear out all the ads, and proceed as normal. Pick up the Scorch Cannon and go into the room on the left again. Now, for this beginning part, you are not going to have your super because you just used it for DPS, so be mindful of that. I like to use the Scorch Cannon and take advantage of it and pretty much use all the ammo for it. That way I could take out the ads easier. But again, after 10 engrams, you will have your super back, so there won't be any problem there. Now, at this point, it is rinse and repeat and continue doing the same thing over and over and over again until the boss dies. Now, this should take anywhere from 3 to 4 phases. If you want to play it very safe, do 4. If you really want to be aggressive, you could push for 3, but I'd rather play it safe and take a little longer to make sure that I get it done, especially for my solo flawless goers. Now, assuming that everything has gone according to plan, you will be at your final damage phase, shooting the boss, and he will drop dead. Congratulations, you have made it past what I think is the hardest encounter in this dungeon, as far as fight-wise, because what comes next is the scariest part if you are going for a solo flawless. But fret not, I will give you my tips and tricks once again. Now we are moving towards the Sparrow Race encounter. This encounter can be very, very, very stressful if you are going for a solo flawless, but do not worry. Now, if you have the always on time Sparrow, you will be a-okay. This will not be of any sort of issue, just follow the path on screen. However, I do know that not everybody has access to that Sparrow and not everybody has the Sparrow. So, I personally went and did it on a Sparrow that is just a regular exotic 160 and I got it done just fine. So just go ahead, follow the path that's on screen and you will be a-okay, hitting the same buttons that I hit and there will be no problem. Congratulations on making it past the Sparrow encounter in one piece. Now we move on to the Fallen Shield encounter. Now this encounter is very, very similar to the first one. However, you have to do a few more mechanics. Again, I'm not going to get into them, but you guys should already know. This is self-explanatory. Just kill the ads, use whatever you want, whatever supers, whether you want more damage, more survivability. However you want to play this, it is totally up to you. I will say, I like to use double grenade launcher, Wither Horde, Salvager Salvo, just because Salvager Salvo is an arc and it takes out the Captain's shields very easily, and it has a chain reaction, and of course Wither Horde leaves the damage pool. Now, when you are going to take down the Servitor shield, be careful because sometimes extra ads will spawn, and you want to make sure that if you pick up any of the engrams that they drop, you deposit them before you move on, because the last thing you want to do is jump from island to island and have Burden of Riches and then you die. So always keep an eye on your burdens and make sure that you drop them off. Now once you have sent the 4th servitor flying gracefully through the sky and taking down the Fallen Shield, you will collect the rewards and move on to the final boss of this dungeon. Now ladies and gentlemen, this is where you are going to want to play it very, very, very safe. You have made it this far, you do not want to mess up now. So for those of you going for a solo flawless, congratulations, you are in the home stretch. Avarice the Covetous. Now, this guy may look intimidating at first, but believe me, he is not that bad. The only thing you need to worry about is the ads. Making sure that you don't get ganked when you're not paying attention is key in this fight. Also key in this fight, he spawns 2 mini bosses alongside with him. The Sniper Shank as well as the Marauder. Now, personally, I like to go ahead and take them both down with my heavy ammo. Do not worry, there is an infinite amount of dregs that will spawn around the arena where you could replenish that ammo. Now, when you drop the Sniper Shank, nothing really happens other than the fact that you don't have to worry about him. But when you drop the Marauder, he's going to drop 10 engrams, where if you're feeling lucky, you could pick them up, get your super back, and deposit them to get a head start on the damage phase, or you could just leave them and let them explode. However you feel like doing this. At the end of the day, it is your choice whether you want to play it safe or aggressive. Now, if you do want to get a head start on the damage phase and getting it set up, on a Warlock, you can go ahead and pick them up using a Rift or a Well to save you. Titans can use a Bubble, and Hunters can just run in there while being invis. This not only helps you get to the damage phase faster, but saves you time overall. This encounter takes the longest, in my opinion, just due to the fact of all the things that you have to take down before you could actually deal damage. Now, just because you've dealt with the mini bosses does not mean that they're down and out. After every damage phase, they do come back, and you're going to have to do the same thing, which is kill them before you actually start the mechanics of the encounter. This just makes your life a lot easier, whether it be to deposit the engrams or to actually do DPS. So, make sure you always do that. After you've taken them down though, you can go ahead and proceed as normal. Now, if you decide to do this very slow and take it very safely, you would do about 10 engrams per run. I personally find it best and still pretty safe to do 20 per run. How I do this is I start on either the left or the right island all the way at the back. When I blow up the scorch cannon, they're all gonna drop and I run forward going towards the beginning middle island. Now doing so will allow you to pick up the 10 that are on your side and the 10 that are in the middle, which leads to 20. Now whether you picked up the first 10 or you didn't, you were always going to have to deposit at least 3 times. Now sometimes you might not make it and you might have to do more, but that is okay because at the end of the day that allows for more time for you to get ammo. Now, if you are on a warlock going into the middle to deposit the engrams, I recommend that you drop a rift because even if you take damage, your health is going to come back and there will be no problems there. Titans have a wall put up and hunters go invis and you will have no issues. Now, when actually leaving the middle to go back to either the left, right, or front islands, be mindful of where the boss is standing. I have had multiple runs where they've ended in me running towards the boss, him stomping, and I have gone flying either in the water, which is an instant death, or the momentum in which I got flung slammed me against a wall and I died. So be mindful of where he is standing. You do not want to end up like this. Ready to fuck him up? Where'd he go? Name. What the fuck? What? No, 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 no shot! What do you mean? Oh my, oh my, Now guys comes the damage phase. It takes 60 engrams to deposit into the crystal before the damage phase starts, so every time you're jumping in there to turn them in, be mindful of how many you've turned in already. Now, when the damage phase actually starts, I personally like to use the 1k with any other fusion, but I know that not everybody can get the 1k, so as you see here, I'm using the Sleeper Simulant. Sleeper Simulant works just fine. Now, Warlocks, you guys get it very easy. All you have to do is drop a well in front of the crystal and you'll have a straight line of fire on the boss. Be mindful that if you are using linear fusion rifles such as the Sleeper Simulant or the Threaded Needle, the ads may make you flinch, but it's not anything too crazy. Titans, you guys could pop a bubble and then just pop in and out of the bubble and shoot the boss. That way you're being protected as well as putting out the damage. Now to my hunters, you guys are going to have to jump to either the left or the right islands and take out the dregs that are there. I know this isn't very time efficient, but it's what you have to do. You have no survivability standing in front of the boss, and if you don't take out the ads when you jump to the sides, they're just going to kill you as you're trying to do damage. So that is the strat. This may take extra damage phases, but as long as you follow a guide step by step, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Now, considering that everything goes well, this should take you between 3 to 4 damage phases if you have optimal damage put out. This shouldn't be very difficult for anybody. The only difficulty in this lies in patience. You guys need to be patient. If you try to rush anything, you are going to make mistakes and you are going to wipe. Now, if you're just trying to solo it to farm, that is no issue, but if you are trying to go flawless, that will be crushing. You do not want that to happen. Trust me, guys. You guys just saw what happened to me, and it wasn't the greatest. But, guys, if this guide did help you in any way, shape, or form, please let me know in the comments below. I do want to make more videos and guides like this, so a like and a comment would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, guys, like I said, I hope this video was helpful in any way, shape, or form. Granted, these tips and tricks that I'm showing you are not the only tips and tricks that exist out there in the world. There are hundreds of other videos out there with people doing this many different ways. This is just the way that I found it easiest for me to do. And I figured since it became farmable today, I might as well spread the knowledge that I have as far as how I did it, so that maybe you guys could carry that with you and do it for yourselves as well. Now, not only for the loot, but also for that solo flawless emblem, which is badass. I personally think it's probably one of the best looking emblems in the game, but again, that's my opinion. there might be other better emblems than that. But guys, I do hope that that video was able to help you out in any way, shape, or form. If it did, please leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought about it, and if you guys want to see more videos like this. I know that in a few months the Shattered Throne is getting taken away, so I definitely want to make a video on maybe even a solo flawless of Shattered Throne as well, for those of you guys who are trying to do that before it gets taken out of the game with the Dreaming City. But with all that being said, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, peace and love, and I'll see you guys in the next one.